They changed some of the settings, and I didn't want to go live tomorrow without knowing that it still worked. So that's okay if nobody's here, because as they say on television, this is a test. This is only a test. Are you seeing it, Charles?
Yes.
All right. You're seeing it on YouTube or Facebook or both?
I'm seeing it on YouTube.
Okay, let's see if it's on Facebook. Sorry about this. We can delete this.
We have it on YouTube.
Okay, let me check Facebook. So, hello, Dandelion.
You're on Facebook.
Yep, it's on Facebook. As long as you're there, I'm just going to tell you really quickly that I have a new book coming out, and it's supposed to come out in 2 weeks, September 23rd. And I made 75 new recipes for this. And there's also 35 recipes from some of my friends who are bloggers who eat and cook like me. But here's the thing. Of course, you can buy it when you want or not buy it at all. But if you buy it when we ask you to, which is going to be a 10-day period as to be determined, you'll get a bunch of bonuses. You'll get the audiobook absolutely free, plus exclusive recipes that other people won't get buying it on Amazon. So how do you do that? If you sign up for my mailing list, when it's time, that's how you know. As long as I've got you on, I'm going to tell you who's going to be the guests this week on Chef AJ Live, which if you're on the mailing list, we send it out. And we're really doing our best not to send out a lot of emails, just one a week, one or two. Marinus says, hello, Miss AJ. I want to thank you for all the videos and all the invites. Thank you. You're so welcome. So we have 2 cooking demos tomorrow. I really try my best to only do 1 show a day, but early on, there were so many people that asked to be on that I had to double book or I would be going into forever. Yes, the book is going to be on Amazon, but if you buy it the day we tell you, then you get all these bonuses like exclusive recipes that aren't in the book, like the vanilla frosted double carrot cake. And you get the Audible, the audiobook for free, but you got to buy it the day we tell you. Cause like, it's not going to be one day, it's going to be like a week or so. Cause that just helps us a lot on Amazon. Martha says, haven't been able to watch for a long time. Yeah, there'll be good recipes. And it's like, I cannot stop. I'm creating new ones all the time, which I'll just probably put on YouTube, by the way. So let's see. So tomorrow on the show at 11 o'clock, back by popular demand, is the mother-daughter duo of Kaylee and Elspeth Feldman. Elspeth is known as the Speedy Vegan, and she's going to be making a mushroom bourguignon over mashed potatoes and a lemon apple French tart that looks amazing. And then at 2 o'clock, we have Nick Hughes, who owns a juicery very close to here, and he's going to be making the best massaged kale salad and 2 really incredible smoothies. Wednesday, we have Robin Chutkin. She authored a book called Gut Bliss and the Microbiome and the Bloat Cure, and another book on the microbiome. And she's on Dr. Oz a lot. If you watch Dr. Oz, she's a regular on that show. And then Thursday, I have somebody I've never met from England, Carly. I can't say her last name, but she does meal plans in England, and she's going to be making a tofu scramble and a breakfast smoothie. On September 11th, I wanted somebody kind of more, fiery, and I have Nathaniel Jordan. He is known as the Minister of Wellness, and that is on the 2nd. And I'll have a second show on Friday. My stand-up comedy teacher is coming back, and he's going to show you how anybody can be funny. And Saturday, I have Debbie Chu doing the cooking demo. I think she's making a vegan cashew cookie and some kind of a stuffed portobello mushroom. And then Sunday, we have Dr. Doug Lyle and Dr. Jen Hawk. I could actually do this till, I'm booked till like end of February, but I'll just do 1 week at a time. Edie says, I'm also eliminating SOS. Very good. Jamie says, I can't hear anything. If you're the only one, maybe it's your settings. How do you get on my mailing list, Pamela? I'm going to post this link right there. You just click it. I do know that certain servers, and it's usually like sbcglobal.net, often it doesn't go through. It recognizes a spam. Gmail always seems to be the best. Karen's looking forward to Elsbeth and Kaylee. Yeah, they are fantastic. How's an Audible book work with recipes? Well, yes, that is a great question, Joy. The way it works is then you get a PDF. But here's the thing. If you're getting the Audible as a bonus, it's not really necessary because the way you get the Audible for free is because you've bought the book. But for people that will buy the book on Audible without buying the book, you actually have to take action though. It doesn't just automatically come. It tells you how to do it. And I get all the time, like, I bought your book and I didn't get the recipes, because you have to do this. Kathy says, what book is this? This is called Own Your Health, How to Live Long and Avoid Chronic Illness by Glen Merzer, and I wrote the recipe. So I did not write the book at this one at all. And he's a very good writer, by the way. He helped Howard Lyman with his book, The Mad Cowboy and No More Bowl. And he's written a lot of books in the plant-based world. He's wrote one with Del Srofe and Benji Kurtz and quite a few. He actually has written screenplays as well. And he's a very funny guy. Okay, let's see if you say anything else. Wow, there's a lot of people on for an unannounced live. I got nothing though. I was going to go live today for my monthly Q&A, but my colleague John Pierre couldn't do it. I see you on Facebook. It's interesting how sometimes more people watch on Facebook and more people watch on YouTube. And I'm just curious how you guys decide where you're going to watch it, because I know that not everybody is on Facebook. So if you're not on Facebook, you would never get notified. But I just wonder if it's different, because see, I see different, you guys only see the comments on your platform. I was actually thinking of only doing this on YouTube, but I don't want to alienate the Facebook audience. It's just, it's just a little easier, YouTube, than Facebook. They make it easier for you to do this. So the technology I'm using goes to 5 places at once, and 2 of them are Facebook and YouTube. Roller says, yeah, so some people say they are not getting the notifications on YouTube. And to do that, you have to be a subscriber and click the bell. And that is supposed to help it. I do try to keep the time consistent, which is 11 a.m. Pacific time, 7 days a week. There are exceptions. If a guest is in another time zone, then I often will not go at that time. But generally it's 11. And if there's a second show, generally it's 2. Please keep it on Facebook. I will keep it on Facebook as long as they are going to make it possible for me to do this. So right now I use a technology called Restream. It's similar to a technology called StreamYard that other people use, so I can go both places at once. Kat says, sometimes I want to get off Facebook. I generally watch it on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know what the benefit is as a viewer, why one might be better than the other. Suara says, I'm a visual person, so I'm always on YouTube. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, generally, I think if I watch other people's things, I generally watch it on YouTube. You know, the problem, I guess, from my standpoint is the hard part about Facebook is that it just seems that when we get, I guess, I don't know if you call them trolls or people that are causing a problem, it seems to be they're more on Facebook. And they're more difficult to manage because the way what I know you probably think I'm making excuses, but what I see is different than what you see. And so what I'm seeing is like a ticker tape. And so that's why I sometimes stumble when I'm asking the questions, because it moves so quickly, which is why I say, if you want your question to go to the top of the heap, send them in. So because we're streaming to 5 places, it keeps moving. So I can see, I just was about to comment to somebody and now that's off my screen. And so with YouTube, it makes it really easy for me if there's a quote troll, for example, or somebody saying something inappropriate, to either completely remove them or put them in what's called a timeout. But with Facebook, I have to manually go in, and it's a much more laborious process, and I can't do it while I'm live. And so that's the problem, because the other night on the show when we had the psychic on, apparently it offended people. Christian people were offended, and they were not acting very Christian the way and so this was all on Facebook. And so that's why I was thinking I'm going to only do YouTube, but I'll keep Facebook for a while. Can you tell us more about Glen Merzer? He's a funny guy. He probably would have been a comedian, I would think. He's very dry humor. He's written plays, he's written TV shows, he's done stand-up. He now lives in Bloomington, Indiana. We're going to actually do a podcast. Who's going to be interviewing us? I believe that Victoria Moran is going to have us on her show on September 23rd. He's a great writer. So I really did write my books, but he made them readable. I'm not a natural writer, and I write like I talk, which means if I didn't have Glen on my team, my books would have been like 500 pages, a lot of rambling. So he's really great. He did not write the recipes, although his wife did contribute some. I'll read you some of the recipes though, see if you like them. Let me tell you who the contributors are, because the contributors are people you've probably heard of. These are people that are health coaches and bloggers and friends. And so they're people like Will and Faith Scott, who have Get to the Root Health and Wellness. We have people like Heather Goodwin from Butterfly Effect, who's contributed recipes. We have Tammy Kramer from Nutmeg Notebook that contributed recipes, Sharon McCrae. And these were just bonus recipes, by the way. I did 75 on my own, but I always like a book to have at least 100 recipes. So I asked my friend Shada Soleimani from Healthy Cooking with Shada. Joanna, who is Glen's wife, contributed lots of recipes. I think that might be it. There's a couple people you probably don't know that contributed recipe. One is Bailey's godfather. His name is Suj. His name isn't Suj, but it's a Serbian name that I can't pronounce, so we call him Suj. And his lemony Brussels sprout recipe is in there. So let's see, there's some really good recipes in here. A lot of times when I'll interview chefs, I'll say, what's your favorite recipe? And they'll say, well, that's like asking me my favorite kid. My favorite recipe in here is the jam bar. It's the new and improved version. So if those of you that are in Feel Fabulous over 40 or did my 14 Days to Fabulous series, I had this jam bar. It was really good, but I generally don't cook with recipes. I just cook intuitively, and I can even bake intuitively. And so I never really had the recipe figured out. It took forever because I had to sit there and weigh and measure. And I finally got it like perfect. So that's probably my favorite recipe. And there's no sugar in any of the recipes, only dates. And there is no salt. There is no oil. There are no nuts. There's no gluten. There are seeds in a few recipes and tahini in a couple of recipes, not too many. And there is so maybe a half a cup of flour in one recipe where it's being used as a kind of just to make it a better texture, but there's always ways to not use it just by using more oats and not grounding it. Let's see what the comments are. So, okay, so yeah, so Glen, he's an Aquarius. His birthday, I think, is February 6th or 7th. Maya, you want to know how to get on my mailing list? You just click the link that I'll be posting from time to time, because I don't want you to miss out on the bonuses, because having the free audiobook is kind of cool. Let's see. Facebook is easier for me, says Kathy. Yeah, I wonder why that is, because, I don't know. I just usually I watch things on YouTube, but that's because I'm not on Facebook very much. Marianne says, I was on YouTube watching your previous guest, Jocelyn Grafe, and got a notification. Very cool. Yeah, that's right. Like, yeah, if you don't have to, you can skip any broadcast you want if you don't like it. But that's what I didn't understand. If they didn't like it, why were they watching? That's kind of silly if you ask me. Yeah, it is impossible not to offend people. That's true. No good deed goes unpunished. Renee says, looking forward to purchasing the book. I appreciate that. Awesome. No nuts or sugar or salt. Great. Do you eat tahini? I don't personally. I do eat minimal seeds, mostly chia seeds. I like chia seeds because they have a function. They're not just good for you with omega-3s, but they have a function in they're a great thickener. So I'll use them a lot of times in salad dressings and even desserts. So that would probably be the seed I use the most. And if you ever did my recipe for the toasted everything bagel, I love that little, it's called everything seasoning. It's the salt-free one. And that has, I believe, sesame seeds, white and black. And so I do that. I mean, I don't like sit there and worry if I don't eat a certain amount of seeds every day, but I do eat seeds because seeds really aren't a trigger for me the way nuts are. So nuts are not good for me. Suara says, I'm transitioning from salt, and the Benson's table taster that you mentioned is helping me a lot. Thanks. Yeah, even at True North, Dr. Clapper used to give it to his patients in a little Dixie cup to help them get off. Love my hat. This was from Vegas airport. It said, it's missing some letters, but it's still kind of cool. Yeah, you can tell when I've either just exercised or I'm having a bad hair day. I have COVID hair and I have to get a haircut. What can I tell you? Was the psychic show recorded? Yeah. And I don't think she's really a psychic. I called her that. She said she's a card reader. And so all the shows, so they are on whatever you watch them on, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, unless there's a reason that I would have to delete a broadcast, and I haven't. I think today is 171 days of going live at least once a day since the pandemic began. So you can find them there immediately after. And how do you get the recipe book? Kelly's asking. So it's going to be on Amazon as soon as we have one more edit to do. There was a couple of mistakes. This is called a proof copy. There was just a couple of mistakes. And we think that we're going to push the button 2 weeks from yesterday so that it should be out by September 23rd. And let's see. And the book is called Own Your Health. I had another title that I liked. I can't remember what it is, but this one won. At first I didn't like the title, but now I really, really do. And it's been endorsed by really cool people like John Robbins, Ed Begley Jr., Dr. Barnard, Dr. Alona Poulday, Dr. Matt Letterman, Doug Lyle, and Brenda Davis, to name a few. So that's that. Do you eat all kinds of different fruits? The only fruit I don't really eat is avocado, because again, I have a real problem with fat, and there's really no fruit I don't like. I don't love grapefruit, but I wouldn't. Is that the final cover? I think so. And there was one that I liked better, but he wrote the book more of the book than I did. So I deferred to him, but it was a different color before that I really didn't like. And it was designed by Janine Elder of Potato Wisdom. She does a really good job. And yeah. But the thing is, it's not final because it's going to be glossy. So this is matte, and I didn't like that. So it's going to look better when you see it because it's going to be glossy, and that's going to look a lot prettier. So yeah, so I right now the fruit that I eat the most is watermelon. It seems like we're getting to the end of the season, but I could just eat watermelon all day. And today I wasn't feeling really well, and pretty much until dinner, that's what I did is I ate watermelon all day. And then I also love cherries, but they're gone now. So I kind of eat what's in season just because. Not that I have like this thing that like you have to because it's better. It's just that if I don't, it's going to be gone. And now cherries are gone. So I would say I don't eat as much fruit as I eat vegetables. So I eat more. Most of my calories come from starch, and most of my volume comes from vegetables, but I probably eat. Oh, how do I pick out a good watermelon? So you can ask Steve Middleman, the comedian who did episode 55 of a Weight Loss Wednesday showing Mittie's Mash. So he said that the guy at Costco, and he's a neighbor now, by the way. And so he goes shopping. We help each other out when we're at the store. He said the Costco guy said that the uglier the watermelon, the sweeter it is. Kind of like people, huh? Just kidding. And so that's what he's been buying, are ugly watermelons that kind of have like imperfections. They didn't have any ugly ones last time, so he got me one that wasn't, and it's one of the sweetest ones. I just find that for some reason Costco watermelons are more consistent. As much as I love Trader Joe's, and if you haven't seen my Trader Joe's video, you'll know why I love them. I sometimes get a clunker. So, but if you watch my regular Weight Loss Wednesday, if you get a clunker, just put it in the Vitamix, and not the juicer. Well, you could do that, I suppose, but it's better to keep the fiber intact, and it rejuvenates it. Do I eat corn on the cob? Always. That's my favorite way to eat corn because it takes about 0 minutes to cook in the Instant Pot, and I love corn on the cob. I don't eat it a lot. Not that I have anything against it, but I love it. It's just my favorite starch is sweet potatoes. My second favorite starch is potatoes, and my third favorite starch is any kind of rice. So I probably eat those more. Yeah. Yeah. I buy 2 watermelons at a time. Yeah, they're so heavy though. And you guys know that I have this torn rotator cuff, and it's like, I can't even lift Bailey, and she's only like 17 pounds. Hey, Bailey, I was trying to get her to come over. Let's see. So yeah, they said that the clunking doesn't necessarily, work with the watermelon, but there's a really cool way to cut a watermelon. I've showed it on a video, the way they do it at True North, where you make the stabilizing cut and then you cut around it and you end up having a lot less weight. Kathy, no, the reason you can't pre-order the book is because when people buy all the books at the same time, it helps your ratings on Amazon. And so if you pre-order it, then it won't do that. And so that's why I did this. If you guys know me from my last book, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, we did the same thing with the bonuses, the free audiobook, and that helped it become a bestseller for about 7 weeks by doing that. And so that's why we're not doing pre-orders for this book, because, we're not big enough like some of the doctors where it's going to sell no matter what. Maya says, I'm happy to reduce fat in my diet, and I have familiar hypocholesterolemia. I do not. That's why I'm not a doctor, because I can't pronounce anything pretty much. Okay, let's see if there's any questions. Day 10, no nuts. Very good. I'm glad you don't miss them. And Maya says she'll love the book. What will the price of the cookbook be? Good question. And when you publish through Amazon, you don't get to really choose. It says right now $19.95, but that doesn't. It's not going to be more than that. I'm pretty sure Amazon doesn't do that. But as you know, sometimes the Amazon prices fluctuate. Like I've seen my book Unprocessed for as low as like $14, and that's a $20 book as well. So it's so like if we did have in-person things, we'd sell it for 20, but that doesn't mean it's going to always be that price. But my guess is that's what it says right now, $19.95. So yeah. Benson's Table Tasty was supposed to come out with a new flavor called roasted garlic, and this has been a year now, and she still hasn't. If we were still doing in-person conferences, this would have been the weekend that we would have just had the live Ultimate Weight Loss Conference. Yeah, watermelon is the best. That's Dr. Lyle's favorite fruit as well. Okay. Oh, you pick one with a yellowish bottom. I don't like to buy watermelon that's pre-cut because it's more expensive and you have the plastic. But when you do that, it's pretty easy to pick a good one, because I find that when it's lighter pink, it's generally not as sweet as when it has that dark red. Yeah. What did everybody do for Labor Day? We didn't do anything, but I had a good dinner tonight. If you follow me on Instagram, I actually posted on Facebook too. I don't understand Instagram and why it's so popular and why people follow me, because I don't know what the heck I'm doing there. I post photos, but we had a great dinner tonight. I made the beanless bean burgers from page 156 of my book, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss. It's the same as the bean burgers, same flavor profile, same spices, same vegetables, just doesn't have the 4 cans of beans. So it makes 12 burgers instead of 16, instead of 24. But this one I got 16 out of, and so we ate 4 for dinner, 2 each of us, and then 12 of them went in the freezer. So we'll have 3 more meals, which I love to batch cook, guys. That's the secret, man. You got to get some kind of batch cooking going. And then you always have healthy food. And we made air fries in the Breville. And there's another trick you can do. So when you cut the fries in the machine that I have, where you go like this and they come out perfect fry shape, that only works on a raw potato. And so the trick about cooking them and refrigerating them, you can't do that with them. But another trick to get really, really crisp fries is after you cut them, soak them in water. We actually had them in water for 24 hours because I was going to make them yesterday and then I didn't. And man, I don't know what that does, but these were like the crispest fries, crisper than if you had fried them in oil. So it's amazing. I got this hat at the Vegas airport 2 years ago, I think, when I was coming home from the conference, and it was $20, same price as the book. So yeah, I like these kind of hats though. Yeah, the dinner looked really good. It tasted really, really good too. Hello from Australia. Australia, yeah, that's right. You should be awake now. We should be going to sleep and you should be awake. We've had a lot of doctors from Australia on the show and chefs as well. So that's Anya Cass and Andrew Taylor. Not that he's a chef, but he's from Australia and stuff like that. Which one of your books has the most and best recipes? Well, so they all have almost the same number. So Unprocessed has 109. Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss has 117. And the new book has 75 from me and about 35 from contributors, which would be 110. So about the same. So Unprocessed has nuts in it. So there's more high fat plant options and dessert options. So if you're doing it for somebody that doesn't need to lose weight, it's not a food addict that has kids, I would say Unprocessed is a good book. But the thing is the recipes and secrets, even if you don't need to lose weight, they're good recipes. So, and now I would say that the recipes in this book are very simple, because I think my recipes reflect where I am at the time. So when I wrote Unprocessed, which came out in 2011, I wrote it in 2009 and 10. And I was eating a lot of desserts with nuts and dates. So it was reflected in the book. And when I wrote Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, I was really concentrating on calorically dilute foods. And now at this point in my life, I want really easy recipes. And so I'm trying to think if there's even anything in here that's not easy. I don't think so. Really, really easy. And so if you like easy with few ingredients, this may be your thing. It's funny because I'm looking at the contributors' recipes and I'm like, God, there's so many ingredients in their recipes. So I like to do it as few ingredients as possible. Cubano says, I'm so glad I found your channel. I've been whole food plant-based for a month now, and it's awesome. Welcome to the family. I've learned a ton from doctors, dietitian, cooks, etc., which makes the journey so much easier. Isn't YouTube cool? I know there's so many cool people that you meet on it. Yes, Kat, you soak no. So Kat, you cut the fries and then you soak them in cold water. And then I kept them in the refrigerator. And then it does something with the starch. I don't know what it does, but it works amazing. Joy says, you're wonderful and totally enjoy your Zoomunity. Thank you. That's what we call it because we're on Zoom and we're a community. So I said, we're the Zoomunity. Anybody here in Dr. Will B's class? Tonight was the first class. He was the guest today. Hey, Nadej, I'm going to miss you when you go back to work. I can't believe people are going back to work. I love, oh yeah, Karen, there's not pictures of the recipes in the book. That's one of the reasons I like to do the YouTube channel so that you can see it. So if you do color pictures are great. And to give me an example, my book, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, is self-published, but in German, it's with a publisher. And when you have a publisher, they can do hardcover and they can have, let me just show you, they can have a beautiful picture for every recipe, and then it makes for a much more expensive book. But for self-publishing, and if you want to know the difference, I did an episode last Tuesday with a book publisher about this. It's really, really, really expensive. And that's why, Kathy Fisher's book is so beautiful, but it's almost twice as much because everything has a color photo. And so if we don't have pictures and, you can put black and white in, but, black and white pictures don't really look that good. Yeah, you'll want to watch the show today, Annette, because it's about preventing colon cancer. So yeah, that's that. So I'm glad this worked because I was really freaking out. There was the technology I used, there was a change. And I kept getting these notifications and I didn't understand them. So I contacted customer service and I figured I better go live tonight, even if I have to delete it, because I don't want to, if I have a guest tomorrow, Carol says, I'm diabetic. Which book do you recommend? Probably Reversing Diabetes by Dr. Neil Barnard. And he does have a video on YouTube by the same name. Yeah, Dr. B's great. He's a rock star. It's so cool seeing all these, I've been vegan for 43 years and it's like, there's so many up and coming younger doctors now, which I'm grateful for, but I'm still one of the OGs. What's the name of it? Oh yeah, sorry. I was looking at my phone it's funny because I get notifications that I go live. I mean, I already know I'm not live, but I get the notifications. Yeah. I like cookbooks with more recipes, less pictures. Oh, then I'm tethered to this, but I had a guest on yesterday, Jocelyn Grave, over 700 recipes, no pictures, but lots of recipes. Yeah. Carol says, oh yeah, yes, I'm glad you signed up, Carol. And I did get your email. And I don't know if you saw this, Carol, but I typed today when you were on that the answer to your question is that Dr. Willoughby doesn't do telemedicine, but there is a plant-based gastroenterologist in Florida who's from the Institute of Plant-Based Medicine named Vanessa Mendez, who's going to be on the show September 14th at 2:00 that does do telemedicine. She can do it anywhere. Oh yes, great suggestion. Lisa Cole is suggesting for diabetes, Mastering Diabetes, another great book. Yes, I'm sorry, didn't think of that one. I was thinking, I don't know why I always think of Dr. Barnard. He's so cute. Maybe you can take pictures and post them in Facebook. Well, I posted my dinner tonight. I could always, anytime I make something, I try to post it. But mostly on Instagram because it just makes it so easy because the camera just goes right to Instagram. Doesn't do that with Facebook for some reason. I notice you say no salt a lot. So I don't use any salt, and I haven't had salt for probably, I don't know, really 2008. I follow the dietary principles of Dr. Alan Goldhammer from the True North Health Center. He does an SOS free diet, no sugar, no oil, no salt. And it's funny because people say I'm on the SOS diet. Well, that's the standard American diet with sugar, oil, and salt. You want to say you're on an SOS free diet. So I don't use any salt. I really don't use salt substitutes. I use a little Benson's Table Tasty, but I haven't had it in so long that I actually don't really care for it now. If I were to get it, say at a restaurant, but who eats at restaurants? Daryl Woodruff, isn't it past your bedtime? I thought you go to bed at 7:00. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have salt. But of all the things I call the evil trinity, sugar, oil, and salt, unless you've already had a stroke or heart disease, salt is maybe the least to worry about. Part of the reason is for somebody that's trying to lose weight, it does cause them to eat more calories. They said it's about 11% more calories when you salt your food than if you didn't salt your food. So if you're trying to lose weight, that could be significant. Also, it can be an appetite stimulant. So, and when you get away from it, you kind of don't like it anymore. Karen, you can still join the course and then catch up, he said, as you can. You're welcome, Carol. I like easy recipes too. Yeah. It'd be good to sell one book with photos and one not. Yeah, so when you have a publisher, then you can really do that and they get a photographer. Next year is my 10th anniversary of my book Unprocessed, and a publisher wants to buy it and release an anniversary issue with photos. So, and then I didn't put, I didn't put salt or sauce or ketchup on because I just was too lazy. Usually I make a barbecue sauce out of California balsamic smoked hickory vinegar and tomato paste. And I just was so hungry by the time I had dinner that I didn't. And my husband eats the unsweetened ketchup from, I think it's called Primal something or other, but it has salt. And I did have Dillon's ketchup too. But there's so many great spices in that burger that it really just didn't need any sauce. But I looked at his with the ketchup and the mustard and the pickles and it looked really good. But mine, when I'm hungry, that's the best sauce. Hunger is the best sauce. Why no oil? Well, I have a great book for you on that one called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease by Dr. Esselstyn, or the documentary Forks Over Knives. One is calorically dense, 4,000 calories a pound, has no fiber, no nutrients. It injures your endothelial cells, which are the life jacket of your circulatory system, meaning it contributes or causes heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. You still miss salt. Yeah, that is the hardest for people. When you say quarts, no, the course, I was talking about the course that started tonight with Dr. Will B. It's called, I forget what it's called. It's a gut health course. It's a 7-week course. And that's the course I was talking about. So yeah, 150. Actually, this is the funny thing. There's a lot more. There's almost 300 people here. See, this is what I'm trying to say is you guys only see the medium you're on. So YouTube says 147 watching, but there's 5 places that people are watching from Facebook, which you can only see the one you're on. And so you get what I'm saying? So you only see where you are. So the number I see is much bigger, which means that the feed goes faster for me. But yeah, and that's why I'm just curious, is it easier to share these broadcasts from Facebook or YouTube, or it doesn't matter? Tattooed woman, you're Sherry, right? And if so, shouldn't you be going to bed now? Isn't it like 11 o'clock in Baltimore? Yeah, well, you rolled ketchup. Oh, he's not shipping to Canada now. Oh, it's not that hard to make your own ketchup. I have a recipe in my book, and Kathy Fisher has one too. Renee says celery tastes so salty now when you don't use salt anymore. That's so true. Yeah, Josh says it took a long time to kick salt. Now it curls. It does. It's really weird how when you get away from something, whether it's smoking or coffee or it doesn't have the same. It does kind of not taste as good. So yeah, what I'd like to know is I wish there was a way to see how long I was going for, but it's not showing me. Usually because I'm starting, I didn't think anybody'd be on, to be honest, because we were just going to test this. And my husband was like, well, where are you? We're trying to go and walk the doggy. It's been 118 here all week, but it doesn't feel that hot to me. Yeah. Let's see. YouTube for me, I'm not good with Facebook, but you're watching from Facebook, because it does show me your name and where you're watching from. So if you're watching from YouTube, it's a little red square with a little white triangle, and if you're watching from Facebook, it's a blue square with a white F. Who lives in Baltimore? Oh, you're in Maryland. Okay, so watching, I believe Sherry is watching. Yeah, it is Sherry. So she's from Baltimore. You just she's watching. Here's the thing. She's watching from YouTube. So that's why you can't see her post. But Sharon McRae, when it's not a pandemic, has something called the Columbia Forks Over Knives Meetup group that gets hundreds of people at a potluck every month. They haven't had it obviously since February, but try to find her. She's a health coach there, and she teaches cooking classes. She's a PCRM cooking instructor. So there's a lot of healthy eaters in Baltimore. Absolutely. Yep. Let's see. I do have questions I could answer from the Ultimate Weight Loss group, but they weren't notified. Love you. Thank you, Sandra. Yeah. So let's see if I can tell you anything more about this book. Hollandaise sauce. That sounds good. Yep. Oh, so couple of the recipes call for jackfruit, the kind that's in the box. So hopefully you'll be able to find that. Engine 2 no longer has hummus. Really? I tried another oil-free salt bomb up front making my own. That's weird. I wonder why they don't have it. Thank you for compliment, Diane. I think there's another hummus that doesn't, trying to think. Is it cedars? I've seen some fairly compliant ones. So I don't, it's really easy to make your own hummus though. You basically just throw a can of chickpeas with or without some of the aquafaba in the food processor with lemon and garlic. And that's really all you need. Laurel's having internet issues. Any meetups in the desert? Well, Patty, I have a meetup group. We have not been able to meet since February. We were meeting once a month at the Cathedral City Library. But if you just go to meetup.com and put in Healthy Living with Chef AJ, then that's my meetup group. And there's about 300 of us in there. And oh, thank you, Beverly. Love you, Chef AJ. You're sweet, kind, smart, creative, and inspirational. Thank you so much. Let's see. Yes, jackfruit does come in cans, Carrie. Sometimes that'll have salt in the cans. But yeah, jackfruit is a fruit that's like bigger than a watermelon that kind of has like spines on it. And when you buy it fresh in the store, it's a bright yellow and it tastes a lot like juicy fruit gum, and it has these huge seeds. But when you get unripe jackfruit, it's kind of, I guess, a brown color, and it's a totally different texture. It comes shredded or dried, and it can be used in place of like pulled pork, or it's actually very good. So check it out if you can. Oh, your Whole Foods still carries Engine 2. I don't take a zinc supplement. I just take B12. And do you have outdoor hat for sun protection? Let me show you my hat for sun protection. And it's so funny because, you know, people criticize you for wearing a mask, even though it's the law. But the funny thing is I was wearing this hat before there ever was a pandemic, because one of the things I learned since moving here is sun is not your friend. And I've had Dr. Jessica Krant on the show, a dermatologist, explaining that for a long time. So I wear this hat. And it actually, they do accept it in stores instead of a mask. So what it is basically when it's on, all you can see is you look like the Unknown comic, where all you see is, and then I'm wearing sunglasses. So this is basically what it looks like. And you can breathe because there's, this is kind of mesh. So that's what I wear for sun protection. I haven't had sun on my face now for over a year, because when I moved here, I was just getting all kinds of these brown spots and my skin was just terrible. And I went to the dermatologist, and he sent me to another dermatologist, and he read me the Riot Act. Actually, they both did, because they see so much skin cancer in the desert. So I still let sun on my arms and legs. I'm not so worried about them being all wrinkly with spots, but I don't get any sun on my face. I wear that all the time. I mean, not at night, but yeah, it's a cool hat. It's like $15 on Amazon, comes in a bunch of colors. I can't use soy curls because I'm allergic to soy. So for some people, they're too processed, but I think they're probably fine. I miss out on a lot being allergic to soy, but people that use them love them. But I bet you that whatever you're using them for, the jackfruit would probably be the same or similar texture. But yeah, I've heard of them, Butler soy curls. I just never had them. You fit right in 120 degrees. Yeah, the air, I'm okay with the air qualities. So that's interesting that Kathy says Engine 2 products are slowly leaving Whole Foods. Oh, so they're going to go somewhere else. Well, that's interesting. Good for them. Rip sells things on his website. Well, that's cool. Because too many people can get to it. All right. Anyway, should probably let you guys go. It's like when you don't watch TV, YouTube becomes like your TV. I don't watch TV mainly because I never could figure out how to turn it on once we moved. So I just don't watch it. I mean, we watch things on it. Actually, usually Netflix I'm watching on something else, but it doesn't mean that I don't ever look at content. It's just that I don't actually I haven't watched regular television since January 2019 when I moved here, because I just couldn't figure out how to turn it on, and my husband didn't live here for the first 3 months. So does jackfruit get softer with longer cooking? I think so. I think it's pretty soft, but I think it does. High winds today. Yeah, lots of fires. It's really scary, really scary. Diane says Tucson, many people are low in vitamin D because they stay out of it. Yeah, you can test for that. You can supplement. No, I mean, listen, I am amazed that when if you could have seen the damage to my face that I could that with treatment and not being in the sun, that it could bounce back to the degree that it did, because I was one of those people that, in my youth, not only did I never wear sunscreen, but I would sunbathe in baby oil and got some pretty nasty burns. So I don't know, like when you're young, you just think you're going to live forever. And then once you're old, you realize you're not. I hate being 60. It's not even the pandemic that's the problem. It's just that I just this was not a good number for me. I live in Indio, California, which is 21 miles east of Palm Springs. Engine 2's direct sales. Fran says, hey, Fran, how you doing? Where did you learn of my allergies? So I went to an immunologist and I had a bunch of tests. They do skin tests and blood tests and stool tests, but they were pretty bad because the soy allergy almost landed me in the hospital with what looked like a bowel obstruction. So yeah, I take that one very seriously. And black pepper, those are the two that I worry about the most because I get really sick if I eat them. Las Vegas airport, but I don't know if they still have them. Yeah, it says, oh, cook jackfruit for 4 to 5 hours. Karen says, well, that's why if you did it in a slow cooker, probably that would be really good. Yeah. Every 2 years, something. I have beautiful skin. Thanks, Diane. I didn't always have beautiful skin. It's really just that, when you see somebody like Victoria Moran, who's 70, and people say she has beautiful skin, and you ask her, she goes, that's because I don't go in the sun. And I know that people look really great with suntans, and they make you feel really good too. But I don't know, especially women as we get older, it does not show up very good for us. So yeah. I mean, I'm still outside and I'm still, feeling the heat and everything. It's just not coming on my face, When does True North have special events? We want to go there for a honeymoon. Oh, I don't know if that's a honeymoon place. They don't have special events anymore. For about 10 years, I was the special event every year at Christmas. It was called the Holiday Extravaganza. And I was there anywhere from 10 or 11 days, to one time 5 weeks for a special program. But because fasting got so popular, they stopped the program. So this last year was the first year I didn't do it. I mean, you could go there for your honeymoon, but you probably want to get a private room, if you know what I mean. They bunch you, it's kind of like dorm style. You sometimes you even share a bathroom. It's because it's not fancy. That's how he's able to keep it to $149 a day. You can have a non-plant based on your birthday. Oh, I can have whatever I want. I don't eat plant. I've been vegan. Why would I want to hurt an animal or eat an animal? No, I don't eat popcorn. A couple of reasons. It's very calorically dense. It's 1,800 calories a pound. But many years ago, I was eating popcorn and I broke a crown and a tooth, and it was like $1,500. And I said, I'm never eating it again because I was very mad at popcorn. What treatment do I do to help my skin? Nothing now. They did stuff in the office, like they burn, I don't know, like there's like this machine, I forget what it's called. It hurts kind of, and they kind of burn the stuff off, and he did have this for a while. He had me wearing this something, I think it was called Litera. It was supposed to lighten it. It was just for a little bit after he did the treatment, but he said nothing is going to work unless you stay out of the sun. So I did, and I actually interviewed him. He's on an episode of Chef AJ Live on YouTube. His name is Dr. Timothy Joshin. Safari hat outside, yeah. So what will I eat for New Year's? Actually, the show on New Year's has already been booked, and we have a PCRM cooking instructor doing Hoppin' John because black eyed peas is a traditional food on New Year's Eve. I don't look at holidays as special food. I eat whatever I have, and I eat very simply, and I eat this. I interviewed Dr. McDougall today for a future summit that's coming out November 14th called the GI Health Summit. And he was talking about how most people don't eat a gazillion recipes, that most people really eat the same thing for breakfast every day, and they repeat their 3 or 4 or 5 favorites. So, I can tell you what I'll be doing New Year's Eve is what I've done every year, since I don't drink anyway. And even if I would never want to be out driving on a night like that, when there's so many drunk drivers on the road, that's when we make our vision boards. And so that's fun. Dermabrasion. I didn't have dermabrasion. He wanted to do something that was more invasive and more expensive, and it was more painful. So I just did it's a machine that it's like, I want to say not like, it's like dry. What's the name for dry ice? It's like, it's cold. It's like it's a burn, but he freezes it. And then that's, I forget what it's called. They do it sometimes for moles too, and things like that. So that's what I had done. And yeah, my grandma never let sun touch her face. Yeah, she looked great in her 80s. And I was saying that to Charles the other day. My mother, liquid nitrogen, thank you. My mother and grandmother never got sun on their face, and they never wore makeup, and their skin looked amazing into their 80s. Do I know any vegan egg substitutes? So generally I would do the flax thing where you mix flax and water, but there is something now called VEGG, VEGG. No, I didn't have the blue light treatment. I had the liquid nitrogen and a lightening cream. And then now I don't have to use that anymore. I just have to promise him that I wear I also have, see, this is the other thing. I was, those face shields now when you go to the doctor, I was wearing that before COVID. It was because to protect my face, and mine was like dark. And now it's like everybody's going to think, oh, God, she's really worried about that. And well, maybe I am, but I was wearing that before. I promise you. What is the fate of the mastery class? We don't know because it's a pandemic still, and it's like you don't want to charge people and things like that. So we're gonna see if Toby can run it through Better Life Summits and maybe make it, streamline it or something. So we'll get to you as soon as we can. Makeup for the last 30 years contained. Yeah. I wear a little bit on, obviously I wear lipstick, and I wear a little on my face for the show because otherwise it's like really, it'll bounce off. But since I moved here, if you look at some of my older YouTubes, boy, did I wear a lot of makeup. That's because I lived across the street from Sephora and went to their classes every week for free and learned how to do it. But I don't like the feel of it anymore on my eyes. It just hurts. I had a couple spots frozen off. Oh, yours came back. Huh. So far, they haven't come back. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could see it a little. I don't know. I can't. This was where one of them was. I mean, but it was big and brown. So it's definitely a lot lighter. Anything that helps cut chin hairs. I do not know. What about maybe electrolysis? That'd be a great question for Dr. Krant. And she is coming back. I'm just not sure when she's coming back. I got to book her. I don't take a supplement of omega-3, but I get my blood tested every year when I have my physical and my levels are good. So if it wasn't, I don't need makeup. No. Oh my God, a super chat for just this. Thank you. Some people get really annoyed by this bell. Thank you, Suara. That's very kind of you. But the bell is purple. So what do you drink in the morning to wake up? Coffee, tea? I drink what's called pot liquor. It's basically vegetable broth. And so I steam my husband's greens for breakfast. I give him the vegetables. I drink the warm broth. Even though it's hot here, I love a warm beverage in the morning. It's just the way I am. So that's what I drink. And then after that, I drink some herbal tea, like maybe mint, when I do my spinning exercise. And I used to drink hibiscus tea, but I found it was staining my teeth, even though I was drinking it through a straw. So I kind of stopped that. Yeah. My dark spot is the same space as yours. Yeah. So it was right there. And it was kind of I didn't like it at all. Not at all. And, with everything closed, you can't even get to Sephora anyway. And even if you could, it's like now the whole thing of it is just kind of creepy because, everybody's using the makeup and all that kind of stuff. Blue light will help you ladies remove unwanted facial hair without shaving. Interesting. Yeah, mint tea is probably, there's a very good tea by, it's Good Earth. It's called Sweet and Spicy, and they make it decaffeinated. Zoom goes quiet when the bell. That's interesting. So then if Zoom goes quiet when I ring the bell, what are these people that don't like the bell complaining about the bell? So that's interesting. Yeah. I got nothing else. So I guess I'll go unless you have any more questions. This is not my official Q&A. I will do that where you have a lot of weight loss questions and things like that, and questions on relapse that we'll get to. I just think it's more fun to do it with Jean-Pierre because I like getting his perspective, and it just seems more like a conversation. If any of you are in Feel Fabulous, we have, what do you do to whiten your teeth? I use an electric tooth. I don't use anything to whiten them. I have an electric toothbrush now. I think it makes a difference. And I just started using a what? Whoa. So that is so nice. Now, why does it say pair character jumping up and down saying #1 fan? Because maybe, why am I not seeing that? Thank you so much. Oh, you tried the Dandy blend. That's really good. You hear the bell, but you like it. Wait, I was going to say something and then I lost my train of thought. So whiten the teeth. Yeah. Our teeth, I think they look white because I'm wearing lipstick, but I wish they were whiter, but they're not. So wait, I'm coming. Can you don't go out without me? But let Bailey say hi to I don't like when he goes for a walk without me. So let's see. Does Bailey have her own bed? Yes, but the thing is, she likes to sleep on ours. Here's her bed right here. Bailey, come here. Can she come over? And she doesn't sleep on ours the whole night, though. Oh, why do I ring the bell? So Beverly asked. The bell was a gift from a regular viewer named Susan Johnston. And because I guess Dylan does it on his show when he gets a super chat donation, there's this little button that is very new to this show that the viewers asked me to put on so they could make donations, and it's to acknowledge the person. And so that's what sweet potato is my favorite. Very easy question. The Hannah yam, hands down. Have you seen young kids at True North? Well, they don't allow them to fast. You have to be 18, but I have seen them there if they're with their parents. So yes. Did you leave? Charles? I think he left me. All right. Tell me what veggies you use in your husband's morning veggies. I do the cruciferous crunch from Trader Joe's, which you can make your own. It comes in a 10-ounce bag. I do 2 cups of water in the 3-quart Instant Pot for 5 minutes. And then I quick release. And it has really finely shredded cabbage, purple cabbage, green cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and there's 5 things in there. Cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. I forget what the 5th thing is in Trader Joe's cruciferous crunch, but it's very good, by the way, very mild. Oh, kale. So yeah, but it's when it's cut fine like that. So that's what the bell's for. Mary says, I cannot break this sad way enough life. I need an immersion program. Well, yeah, what I would suggest is you try 2 weeks for free. Let me see if I can find the link. Feel Fabulous Over 40. And that's what I would do personally. And we have a very supportive group. And we actually just started doing it a little bit differently, where we can all see each other now. So every Wednesday at 5, we go live, sometimes with me, sometimes it's with Frank Sabatino, the doctor. You can ask him questions, and Dr. Lyle. They each go up once a month. And we just changed the technology so that no matter how many people are on, we all, if you turn your camera on, you all get to see each other. So that's the link. You can try it for 2 weeks for free. And I haven't tried Taquino, but I just recently tried Dandy Blend in the milkshake. And so Mary, consider trying 2 weeks for free. The backdrop is from a company called Pop-Up Stand. I have 3 of them actually, because for different summits, we use different backgrounds. Baking soda is good. Don't use fluoride. I have some toothpaste that they gave us on the cruise that's on that. I think it's called Earth Paste. I met Charles because I took his sister is a vegan chef who's going to be on the show in February, named Elaine Shrewsbury. And I took her cooking class, and that's how I met him. Yeah, my dog is not 100% plant-based because we got her at age 5 and she was pretty set in her ways. Yeah, the Power Greens from Costco are really good. I don't worry that the cruciferous crunch isn't organic. I don't know. I just don't. Yeah, I guess maybe I should be more concerned about it. I mean, I do try to eat mostly organic, but he just loves that cru. I don't know what to tell you. It's like I mean, isn't it better that he's eating vegetables than not eating vegetables? That's the thing. I guess if I did it myself, and I know there's a recipe for how to do it yourself, but gosh, I'm lazy. We're all here for you. It feels fabulous, Jody's saying. Yeah, so it was really cool because like right now you see me, but I don't see you. I see your names or whatever name you have. But in Feel Fabulous, we have it now that if you can turn your camera off if you want, but we can see each other. So even if there's like 100 people on, we can, you swipe the screen and you can see people. So it's kind of fun. You can see what they're eating for dinner. You know, you can see their pets. So it's kind of nice to be able to do that. Anyway, so I think I'm going to go now. Thanks for coming on, and just check this out once it's available. And as I mentioned, if you go to on my website and sign up to be on my mailing list when the bonuses are being offered, that's how you're going to know, because we're going to send out several emails. Are you still here, Charles?
Yes. Getting ready to go.
Wait, can Bailey just say hi to the people and then we'll go? Because you're still buying a dish. How do you make donations? I don't know if you can do it on Facebook, Beverly, because I see that's where you're watching. But on YouTube, there's this button, and it's called the super chat button. And there, look at this. Is this like the cutest girl ever? Go look at. It's really like, I couldn't have kids. So this is like the closest thing to a baby I've had. He's just really sweet. Bailey, you want to answer a couple questions? Any veterinarians watching? She's bloated all the time now. I wonder if she has SIBO or something. Anyway, we are going to the vet tomorrow. We don't go in though. You wait in your car and they come and get your dog. Yeah, she's extra cute because she's got a bow. Hello, Bailey. I think you're a really good friend. Yeah, I love dogs. This is why I'm vegan. And why can't you be vegan, Bailey? Yes, it puts me in a terrible state of cognitive dissonance that she's not vegan. Oh, you're studying to be a vet tech. Sherry, who's watching, is a dog groomer. That would be a fun job. Really? She is cute. She's just very sweet, though, too. I just love this dog. So every dog I get, it's like the best. I had this when I was in LA for 20 years, I went to Dr. Lin Chang, and he was an acupuncture doctor at the Dungok Royal University. And so it was like first it was like $5, then 15. By the time I left, it was like $20 to get acupuncture. Ridiculous, because it was a teaching school. And every time I'd come in, he goes, "You're my favorite patient. You're my favorite patient." And then one time I went to the restroom before the treatment and I saw him in another room. He goes, "You're my favorite patient." And so he's saying that to all his patients. But every dog I have, I'm like, this is the best dog I ever had. So yeah, they just keep getting better. My vet Zooms from the exam room. Oh, that's so great. I hope mine will FaceTime with me. I really hope he'll do that. But we got to go. But we've been putting it off for some time because she's just always eat. She never liked food, and now she's like ravenous. So she's got to get some endocrine things checked. Maybe you should take Dr. Willoughby's class, huh? What do you think? Maybe you have IBS and SIBO. Yeah. Oh, yes, she does get groomed. Grooming was one of the things that was. They never made them stop, by the way, the pet groomers. So, and we hand her through the leash. We don't see the groomer. The groomer takes her right to this little truck that she has in front of the house. Yeah. Oh, your dog's on heart medicine. My dog had bloating and tummy problems. Oh, it got better when you gave her raw meat. Wow. What's that noise that I'm hearing in my ear? That's weird. Anyway, so yeah, how old is my dog? She is going to be on September 26th. We think 9, but she's from the shelter, so you never really know for sure. It's too bad they can't have a DNA test for that. Yeah. Yeah, you're paying, you know what I pay for acupuncture here? I mean, I'm not going right now because of the pandemic, but the doctor here, because she's an MD, was 150 for a session. So yeah, $20 was great. Wow, your cat has IBD. That's so interesting. I wonder, I mean, we don't know that. Maybe she just gained weight. Have I tried CBD for pets? No. But, again, I know I'm going to offend people that are not, but I do go to pet psychics, and I have an appointment with one tomorrow to see if she can figure out what Bailey has wrong. And pet psychics aren't really quotes. I use the word psychic when they're not necessarily psychic. They're really animal behaviorists and communicators. And I think I'm going to have one on the show Friday as a bonus recipe, because she's starting an animal communication class on Saturday. Her name's Elizabeth Lee. I've got to check out if she, oh yeah, probably be on, hold on. Nope, that won't work. Oh, that won't work. Probably have to be Wednesday. God, my schedule's filling up. I wish this pandemic would end so I could just get back to work. I mean, I am working, but oh no, swollen belly could be heart disease. Oy, oy, oy. And it feels hard too. So that's the thing. So I'm a little worried. Are you open to things? I'm open to a lot of things. What's the saying, Alexa? You want to be open, but not so open that your brains fall out, And yeah, I am. But that's one of the big 5 personality traits. If you guys follow Doug Lyle on Beat Your Genes, that test that he tells people to take. And yeah, Diane, I've had pet psychics on. I've had Lydia Hibby on, and I'm hoping to have Teresa Wagner on. So yeah, yep. Okay. Let's see what else. The hat says Vegas. It said Vegas. It said Las Vegas, but I lost the N. It's so yeah. Oh wow, yeah. Well, Lydia Hibby doesn't find lost pets, but yeah, she's very good. I've had her on, and yeah, if it's hard on the belly, it's an issue with the uterus. Well, Bailey did have a baby before I met her. She's the only dog I've ever had that wasn't a virgin. Oh, Bailey, you're a little hussy. Yeah, I've always had big dogs too. And that's the other thing. When they're little, it's like they're perpetual puppies, and they're just so cute. What can I tell you? Okay, I really am going to go now, but I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11, and we're going to have 2 cooking demos tomorrow. So tomorrow cooking demos are easier for me than the doctors, because they're just a little bit lighter, and I don't have to be thinking quite as hard. And generally the questions are much easier. So yes, I'm keeping my husband from the walk. So we're going to go see you guys tomorrow at 11, 2 shows, 11 and 2. thanks for being part of the Zoommunity. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate not just the super chat donations, but even when you just give a like or a share. I'm not comfortable always saying, please like, please share, but apparently, I don't know why, that helps. So take care, guys. Oh, you just saw me on Johnny Carson. Yes, that's when I was much heavier. So thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow. Okay.